Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. It is a good morning. I am losing my resistance to saying good morning. I was just walking in the park, this beautiful, beautiful park that's like a block from where I live. And all of these people were saying good morning to me and smiling, and all of the dogs were so happy to see me. And it's like ever since I decided to pour oceans and oceans and oceans of ascended master sacred fire, power, love to every being in all of creation, things are changing. Things are changing fast. It's really exciting. It's such a simple thing. God only knows why it took me so long to make this decision, but it did. And that's okay because we're here now and we're doing it now. Maybe it's time for another story. I used to live in Calgary, close to the Bow River, and there was a lovely little place called the Croissant Factory. And I liked to go there and have lunch. Sometimes it was close to where I lived. So one day I was at the croissant factory with my friend Molly. Molly, beautiful Molly, this ethereal redhead with white milky skin. And we were talking, it was, I don't know, maybe in the 1989 is exactly when it was. And she was telling me that she had watched Oprah and that Oprah was talking about sexual abuse and that somehow Oprah was sure that sexual abuse was something that you really had to actually look at because it could affect you adversely in your life. And Molly began to tell me a story about her life and how she had experienced abuse at one point, and that she was pretty sure that she was being affected by it. So anyway, I listened carefully and watched as she told me this amazing story, and so finally, eventually, I said, well, yeah, I was sexually abused too when I was a kid, and it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. It's just fine, forget it, get on with your life. It's no big deal or whatever. And she's like, no, 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 no. That's not how it works at all. You just buried it. You're in denial and all of this. So it's like, oh, okay. I'm open. I'm totally open. That's one of my favorite things about me. So anyway, I thought, fine. And I went home. I walked across this little stone bridge on the way to my house, and I went into the house and I thought, okay, well, hey, I was sexually abused. I better deal with this. So I phone up. I just literally phoned up some service, the sexual abuse center or some damn thing in Calgary. And I said, well, hey, I was sexually abused. I think maybe I need to come in and talk to you guys about it or something. My friend Molly told me I should anyway. So I made an appointment. And yeah, it was like that easy. So anyway, a couple of days later, I'm working away. I used to work like a dog. I was a hairdresser and I was always busy doing stuff. So I booked off a couple of hours in the afternoon to go have this appointment at the sexual abuse center or whatever. So I don't know. I just got in the car and buzzed over there and went to this appointment, right? And I walked in and it was, I don't know, kind of a funny little office building in Calgary in the middle of nowhere. And I went in and said, well, hey, I'm here. I have an appointment. I'm a sexual abuse victim. So anyway, so they all look at me kind of like with big eyes. I was probably the only man they'd ever seen there. It's a kind of a woman thing at this point. But anyway, I went into this room and there was this counselor, and she was lovely, but she probably wasn't even 30 years old. She was maybe, I don't know, she was really young. And anyway, and so we started talking about this whole sexual abuse thing and whatever, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, okay. And I told her the whole story and all of the stuff that I pretty much I'd forgotten about it, but I just kind of filed it away in the back room somewhere, and I was getting on with my life. So anyway, I finished up the appointment and I went back, and I had booked some more clients in the afternoon after I got home. So I got back to my place where I was working, and I did these other clients. And then as I was working with these clients, I kept getting this really weird feeling. I'm thinking like, whoa, I don't feel so good. This is pretty weird. So I got through my few clients in the afternoon or whatever, and I kind of finished working, and I thought, wow, I feel awful. I feel like I've been hit by a truck or something, like something's going on here. And it was like all of a sudden, all of these feelings came rushing in, and all of these weird memories that I had suppressed and things that I thought, man. So anyway, I figured I had some more appointments at this sexual abuse place, in a couple of days or once a week or whatever it was. So I thought, well, maybe I better take the rest of the afternoon off after I go to my appointment, because it's maybe a little more heavy duty than I thought. And so anyway, I went to my next appointment and all of that. And I was starting to think, it's like, yeah, I was sexually abused that, you know, from, I don't know, from the time I was 8 until I was about 15, I was sexually abused by this cousin of my mother's, right? And that was what I thought I was there to deal with, right? But I kept getting these other thoughts. It was like, whoa, maybe there's more going on here than even that. I thought, wow, something's happening. So anyway, I went to my second appointment, and it was fine, whatever. And then I came back home, and because I had booked off the afternoon and nobody was home at that point, I was upstairs and I thought, well, hey, I'll go bike riding. I'll go bike riding with my beautiful new mountain bike. And so I was upstairs and I was putting on my bike riding gear or whatever I was. And I had a 2-story house and was coming down the stairs, and my sister was walking in the front door. She was my accountant at the time, and I was always busy, so she would just let herself in the front door whenever she was coming in to do her accounting work or whatever. And so here she was walking in the front door as I was coming down the stairs, getting ready for my bike ride. And I don't know, I'm just like this. I just am like this. She looked at me and she said, well, what are you doing? How come you're not working? And I said, well, I just went to the sexual abuse clinic, and oh my God. And I just dumped it on the table. I mean, my poor sister at this point must have been, shocked or something, but I don't hold anything back. It's like if I tell the truth, it's pretty much always. So anyway, and I told her, I said, it's like, man, this is weird. I have all these strange feelings, I I'm not sure what's going on. And I said, it wasn't just that incident with my mother's cousin. I'm starting to kind of wonder if there wasn't more involved, and I even have some weird ideas about mother. And she said, my sister, she looked up at me and she said, well, Phil, she sure did hold on to you for a long time. And it was kind of like, ooh, I see. And I'm not going to get into the details. I'm really not. It was a long, involved process, but man, was it a process. I had to go virtually all the way back to the beginning of my life, back to conception. And I will probably tell some more stories, but I'm not going to drag this out and go on and on and on this time, because the video will be too long and nobody will even listen to me or anything. But I guess the long and the short of it is, I had to kind of dig into my past and uproot all of these things that I had filed away and tucked away in little corners or whatever. And it was a long, involved process, and sometimes extremely painful. I look back on it now and it was way, way, way more painful than it had to be. It did not have to be as involved as I made it, but I literally had to forgive and uproot practically everything that I had tucked away in my memory banks that was waiting there to burst forth at just the right time. And in hindsight, I guess it's maybe just the process. I guess maybe life is like that. You know, you have to do a review at a certain point and clear away all of the old muck so that you can move forward without all that baggage. And as I look back on it now, and that was 30 years ago, literally 30 years ago at least, if not more, and there's been a whole lot of interesting things that's happened since then, but generally it was this amazing process that expanded my consciousness and gave me the tools I needed to live the life I'm living right now. And I'm grateful for all of it. I am. I'm grateful for all of it. I'm grateful that I was able to forgive and release that stuff and not have to carry it with me for another bloody centuries. I don't know how long. Anyway, I'm grateful. And I am pouring oceans and oceans and oceans and oceans to every single one of you guys in the world of YouTube. It's kind of like symbolic universe. YouTube is like the universe. I'm talking to absolutely everyone. And anybody who needs this message, anybody who wants to hear it, is going to find it. They're going to find it effortlessly. Somehow they're going to stumble across it, or whatever it is that makes people find videos on YouTube. I can't even imagine. And I just have faith that the message that's meant to go to the right people at the right time will do exactly that. So please, I guess, subscribe and push all the buttons and notification things or whatever if you want to, because that would be great. I think I would love to have millions of followers and inspire them with all of my tales, but whatever. See ya.